I am back. I'm back. If you guys missed my morning stream, you missed out on me talking about Canadian products that are being sold in America. What was the main one I thought that was very interesting was Heinz. Heinz. So Kraft Heinz, I guess, is a Canadian company, and then Coors Light is another thing that I saw that I thought was very interesting. Yep, just hello, hello. Sorry, switching out. Just doing some work and seeing if anyone wants to hear me rant about random things. Hello, Mr. Randolph. Where are you from? Where are you from, my friend? You see, here's what's different, okay? I try to interact as much as possible. Like when I'm scrolling through, right? Ooh, you're from America? Me too. Like when I'm scrolling through, right, and I see like it's usually girls that do this, right? They just stare into the camera and they just look and they're just like this. And then their views are going up and I'm like trying so hard and nobody cares. But so yeah, if you missed my stream earlier, I was talking about like Canadian products that are sold in America because they with the tariffs, they're still boycotting American stuff, and I thought one was really interesting. Philadelphia cheese. Did you know that? I'm Vietnamese. Did you know Philadelphia cheese is actually Canadian? I learned that today. So very interesting. And yeah, just trying to do some work. And if you want to, oh, you know what, Rudolph, you're the first person that thinks that I'm Vietnamese. Every time people look at this ugly face, they say I am a Filipino. If they don't know a lot, they would be like, "Oh, you're Japanese or something." No, they always say I'm Filipino. It's the sun. Yeah, but if you're new here, what I like to do is talk about the most random things and solve world problems. I think if you come here a lot, I and it's I don't know. Sometimes my ideas work, like they make sense, and sometimes they don't. But that's the fun of it. I like solved America's food problem a while back. I feel like I solved the problem. Oh, you work with a lot of Filipino people? Very cool. I have a buddy that's what he does too. He works for a travel agency, and every week, oh, thank you. Every week, right? He gets tourists that come over from all over, and his job is to make sure they have a good time. And I was telling him, I feel like that is the most stressful job because, like, imagine if your job is to party and like go play, but at some point, it drains on you. You're like, okay, let's go to another club, let's go drink again. Like it. It's like that skit where they're like, party, 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 party. Every day we party. Oh, hey, oh, John. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not in my garage this time. I'm in one of my rooms. If you have, John, if you have a question and you want me to my opinion, I will answer you. I'm here. I'm here for you, John. I know you were here yesterday. And I'm telling you, you never know. You never know. It could be genius or I could be an idiot. See John F running speed running shorts. I know, like imagine. You're like go 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 and then hottie body stop. Okay, looks like you'll be a great father. What's your future plan to educate your children and making them smart and well-adjusted contributor? Okay, I feel like the biggest problem right now is that we live in the information age, right? Everything is available. So teaching them things, this is my opinion, teaching them things like what is the capital of Spain, or like basically like just facts is completely useless because you can look up anything, right? Now, so the most important thing is teaching them how to use the information is the most important. So like for example, if your kid asks you, "Hey dad, why is the sky blue? Like what color is the sky?" or something like that, right? And instead of just saying, "Oh, it's blue," ask them like, "Why do you think it's blue?" And then they'll give you some answer, right? And you're like, "Okay, now let's look into it. Why is it blue?" And actually set the time to go sit down with them and figure out why is the sky blue. And you'll learn something, they'll learn something, and then it's just giving them giving them the ability to like get the information and do something with it, not just give them facts. That's one thing that I feel like will help your children move forward. Like kind of like in math too. I do this with my kid all the time. I have a kid where instead of telling them like 1 plus 1 equals 2, explain to them why 1 plus 1 equals 2. Like you have a number here. You have this many of this thing, this many of this thing. You put them together, you get this, and then this is what multiplication is. Multiplication is just a faster way to add. Division is just a faster way to subtract. Like getting them to get critical thinking is the most important thing right now. Like using the information, not knowing things. Like you see kids that just know things, like straight memorization. That's all useless. They just wasted a lot of their time because literally, as fast as you can name the capitals of the world or whatever, I could look it up way faster and be more accurate. And I think that will help them. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say, John. I'm trying to make this up as fast as fast as you asked me. Okay, you know what I mean. It's just having them able to use the information is more important than having them remember the information. Right? This makes sense. Come on, it makes sense. That's what I think. And the other thing is teaching them independence earlier. Having them be able to do things by themselves is very important, especially moving forward. You're not gonna always be there. Straight from ChatGPT, you see my hands? They're right here, dude. Imagine you ask me a question, right? I'm like, uh-huh. And yes. This, literally, it's I don't know. It's kind of like what's the first thought that comes to my mind. So I think that's the most important thing. Having them able to use the information and independence. You're not always gonna be there, and I see a lot of kids now just like mindless. Like, oh, you ever see those kids, right? And you ask them a question and you just look inside their eyes and there's nothing in there. Oh, it's like you wonder what they're gonna do later in life. Or the other one was if you ask a kid a question, right? I don't know how often you're talking to children, but I see children every once in a while. And they look like you ask them like, "Oh, what's your name?" And then they look to their parent to kind of like get the answer for them. Like, "Oh, that makes me hurt a little bit inside because I know that kid." So you upgraded in my mind from a garage opinion guide to a chat. Yes, thank you. Okay, John. Every day, my goal. If you see me every day, that'll be even more better. But oh my gosh, more better. Ugh. That would be better. If I can just move up in your mind every day, I've accomplished something every day. Yes! Winning! I'm winning, guys. If you guys don't know the context of this, right? John came in yesterday and he was like, I was here for 2 seconds and you said the dumbest things. All right, what else? What else we got? What else we got? I think I touched on it a little bit. Um, do I teach my son every day? Um, I try to. I tried. I spent I try to as much as possible, to be honest. It's because to me, like a lot of dads, right? They're so busy doing their own thing, but they don't spend the time with their children, and then they get interested later in life. And but the time that you lose, you don't get back. You know what I mean? So you don't get that back. So I try to do homework with them every day. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done homework with your kid lately, homework is so frustratingly hard now. Because like they do math a different way. And I get it. I get why they do, like, let's say they do the math that way. It's because they have like there's like AI and all these other things now where it'll solve it for them. So they ask the questions and like the most, oh my God, it's the most, oh, it makes me so upset sometimes because literally, let's just say the question is 5 plus 5 or something basic, right? And you just want to go 10. But they'll go like 50,000 different directions to get to the 10. And the idea is going back to what I was saying earlier, they're trying to get them to understand what is the purpose of this problem, but it's so hard. Okay, holy shit. You're me. I keep telling my wife to devote yourself in the early years and educate. Yes, I agree. I get, I'm telling you, John. I'm telling you, every day, if you see me, I'm gonna slowly grow on you. I'm gonna win the hearts and minds of America. That's my goal. Hey, Jackie Chan, how I'm doing? Okay, Christopher, I wish I was Jackie Chan. If I was Jackie Chan, I would not be here. The only thing to tie back to John, Jackie Chan is a terrible person. I think that's so funny that you see someone in the movies and you're like, oh, he seems very nice, but in real life, I know Jackie Chan is a legend, but if you look into his personal life, he sounds like a terrible person. I honestly think I liked it. You were in a bad mood yesterday? You think I was in a bad mood? I didn't think I was in a bad mood. Maybe you don't like the earlier version, and then when I'm in the office, this area, maybe you like it better. Um, yes, okay, Christopher, you gotta look into it, right? So, Jackie Chan, one thing you have to admire about him is his work ethic, right? He works very hard, and he does his own stunts, that thing. But if you look into his, I think it's his first son. I'm trying to remember exactly. Does he have was he in 2 marriages or whatever? But it's well known. It's in his biography. He talked about it. The time where he basically um, had a bottle of like alcohol or something and threw it across the room right next to his kid, and did all this other stuff with his like it's I don't like hearing that kind of stuff because kids are innocent. And to do that in front of your kid is not, no, I don't agree with that. So, yeah, so that's very interesting. If you look into that about Jackie, I could be like saying it wrong, but that's what I remember about him. That's one thing that stuck out because I love all his movies. I grew up with his movies, Rumble in the Bronx, like his older ones, his like Drunken Fist, But seeing that, like knowing that part, that in behind the scenes stuff, ugh. Okay, what else? What else we got? Go back to John though. Yeah, early years very important. Fun fact out there, if you don't have children as well, I learned this. Their personality is set around 6 or 7 years old. That, like, think about that, right? So if you miss that time, you miss who they are by 6 or 7, and then from there, they change based on the different experiences they have. But their core self is set around 6. That's what I heard or read somewhere. So I remember early on, it was very important to me to kind of be involved. Okay, what's your ethnicity like? Sort of background. Just curious. Just say, what race are you, Mad Max? I'm Vietnamese. Born and raised in California. And yeah, so I'm okay. If you want to make a configuration, you have until 5-ish. Yeah, it's argued even around 4. Yeah, I get the age like messed up. I remember it's very early that is their core, like your core self is made of when you're around that age. And then from there on, you change just based on the different experiences you have, but the core self is you're made around there. So yeah, it was very important to me to kind of be involved and experience that because I want to see like all like where they end up. I think that's the hardest part about being a parent is you put so much energy into this thing, right? But you don't know what your if it's what you did have like has an effect at all. I think that's the part that stresses me like the most. If you see I'm losing hair, I feel like I feel like I'm so stressed about this. I feel like I'm a good parent. I don't know. I feel like I'm a good parent. I try my best, and that's all you could really do because at the end of the day, you as I said earlier, you don't know what you're doing is correct or wrong. Like you think about it, some of the crappiest parents out there, you could be the crappiest parent out there and you make a Tiger Woods, right? Like you could be and you could be the best parent out there and your kid could turn out to be complete like trash. And so you don't know and it's kind of, you know, okay, don't be too tough and don't be too soft. No, that's I agree with that. That's why I do qualifiable things, teach them advanced math, piano, Mandarin. Okay, Mandarin, logic, science. The rest I can't control. If they're going to be crappy people, at least they'll be smart crap. I agree with a lot of that. And one thing I always like to do to balance it out a little bit more is teach them a little bit about the streets. Like, I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget about, right? Street smarts is very important. And I say that because I have this, he's a relative of mine. His parents spent, he told me this, right? He told me in a bragging way, which made my blood boil. His parents spent on his education from elementary school to college to about 2 million. They're in China. They sent him to London. London is where he spent his time until elementary school. From no, I'm sorry, to high school, and then from Cambridge, he moves to the States and he goes to USC for college. Right. So think about that. From elementary school to high school, $2 million. I mean, to college. Sorry, $2 million. When he graduates, he couldn't get a job at all. But if you give him a test, any test, it doesn't matter what kind of test, he will ace it. It could be a subject that he doesn't even know, he will ace any test. He is super, super book smarts. Like he's the little definition of a super nerd book smart guy. But he couldn't get a job after he graduated because anytime he went to interview at any job, he couldn't talk to anybody. Like people skills are in the gutter. Like he's all the way down on the bottom with his people skills, right? And I talk about you need to have a little bit of street smarts, and he's super, in a way, gullible, right? You can move him to any direction. Oh, thank you so much, Stan. Um, I try it really hard. Yeah, he's super gullible, so people kind of lead him in different directions. But his parents, piano lessons. He speaks perfect Mandarin. He very good with technology, computers, everything, right? He studies computers. That's what he does. He cannot get a job anywhere. And so do you know what he does now? He is essentially a professional student. um Wait, Stan is wrong. You look like you have an ego. You try to suppress. I saw in the garage. Just I'm trying to figure out yesterday, John. That what was it that made it? Was that you think I was having a bad day? Maybe it was whatever the topic was yesterday. I'm not sure because maybe it was like a topic that needed to be that I need to really like home in on. I'm not sure. If I was arrogant yesterday, John, I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, You think it was ChatGPT? I don't. Okay, John. I don't remember us talking about ChatGPT yesterday. Maybe you made the comment and the chat was going so fast that I missed it. So I'm not sure. I mean, if you feel like I had an ego yesterday, I'm sorry. What else do you guys want to talk about? I think yesterday I was trying to solve a problem that someone asked me a question about like an issue that I did not know that much about. And I tried to come up with, I'm trying really hard to come up with a solution to whatever problem. And I could be right, I could be wrong. I just try to make enough sense that it might work, it might not. Like, I think this is a good one that someone asked me, like, how to solve America's food problem. And I was saying, I was saying that to solve America's food problem, we were gonna go to Texas and kill or get all those wild hogs they have, and just start farming those wild hogs, getting all their meat, and start shipping them out, right? Because they have a hog problem. So I'm solving two problems, right? Texas hog problem, food, and then I was saying that we go to that Mississippi, Louisiana area. They have gators, right? And you just gotta get some gator meat, ship it out, send it out. Change the American diet. Boom. You use there's a whole food source right there that no one's using, and I solved a bunch of food problems. I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the stuff that. Okay. Do you find that it's hard to do what you do, control your ego when engaging with arguing with your wife and husband? Um, I'm trying to think. I feel like, at least from my point of view, right? From my point of view, it's really hard to argue with your wife. Now, if you're like a lady and you're arguing with your husband, it's super easy. I feel like because like at the end of the day, as a guy, you're trying not to make the problem bigger, and it always feels like whatever you say, it doesn't matter. They're gonna be mad at you until they forgive you. And so yeah, I feel like if you're a guy, you have to check your ego and just let it go. A lot of times. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Arguing with a woman is impossible. You just cannot win. It's just like I don't know from what your experience is. I don't know if you guys are married, have a significant other or whatever. Um, it doesn't matter. Half the time, I know deep down in her soul that she is wrong, but she will not admit it. And so this is the part where you have to check. Staying on topic is particularly difficult for them. I can tell if it's on purpose or not. I think, okay, John, I think it's a evolutionary thing. This is my opinion. Men are usually more singularly, like they're focused on one thing at a time, while women are better at doing multiple things at a time, right? So that's why I feel like they have a hard time staying on topic. So at the end, oh, hello, Angela. Married 20 years? Congrats. I've been married for about 15, so I guess I got a lot of catching up to do. But I just feel like women are better at multiple things, doing multiple things well, and sexism. I'm just saying this is my opinion. I can't stand to agree with you on everything you say. No one agrees with everything anyone says, so that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. This is just my opinion, and men are better at focusing on one thing at a time. But like, that's why I feel like they have a hard time staying. Okay, I can't stand to agree with everything. Oh, mate, am I just reading it wrong? Wait, then why do I agree with everything you say so far? Ah, I want to find something. Oh, we disagree on? Okay. No, Angela, don't leave. No, no, don't leave. Don't leave. Don't subscribe. Unsubscribe. Please. Okay. Okay. Let's get back. Let's get back. What were we talking about? Envoy? What are you asking? Arguing with your girlfriend is like trying to close a pop-up and you think you found the X button, send three more windows pop up. That's actually kind of funny. The other thing though, right? Oh no, it doesn't bother me that much. I just think I try very hard. What was I trying to say before I got distracted? One thing though, okay, John? No, never. You guys have been in the chat. I'm committed. I'm committed. Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is where things get crazy, John. Maybe you came in to my channel in the middle of something like this and it seemed like I was going crazy. No, we're not aborting. We're not aborting. Okay, we're going back to gators. We're gonna go back to gators. Um, the gators also have eggs. Okay, we can solve the egg problem. Gator eggs. Let's eat some gator eggs. Quail eggs. Oh, and boy, no, you're starting a whole war in there. Come on, be nice to Angela, okay? Be nice. Later gators are the worst. Um, I remember going to Thailand, right, and seeing the gator show. If you ever seen the gator show, that's actually a very interesting thing. I remember that's a core memory of mine. So I remember going to Thailand and seeing the gator show, the guy putting his head inside the gator, and I don't know why that freaked me out so much. It made me think about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some reason, thinking about turtles. Maybe it's the reptile, and I don't know how my brain was just wired different. And I was thinking, that's crazy. Imagine doing that every day. That's your job to wrestle gators. And why I think about the gators, right? Why are we going back to gators? Gator meat, I feel like, is a completely unutilized source that we have in America. And what's more American than eating natural American food? You see where I'm going with this? Make America great again. Make America great. Just make America great. Yeah, you gotta eat what we got. Gator. I don't know how we got here, okay? Eh, What's going on said, I don't know how we got here, okay? But you know, right now with the tariffs, right? We gotta focus on what does America have, right? Because we cannot depend on the other countries anymore, right? We gotta focus on what we got. We got gators, we got hogs in Texas. Um, okay, I thought about this. Coffee. We don't grow a lot of coffee in America. That is something we need to get on. Whoever, if you guys are here now, I just gave you guys a multi-billion-dollar idea. Start growing coffee. Do I agree with the tariffs? No, I do not. I do not agree with the tariffs. I hate it. But we can, we as people that just live in America cannot do anything about it, right? Right? We cannot do anything about it. We have to adapt and survive. You know what I mean? So, this is what I'm saying. If the tariffs are on, if we're at war, you got to focus on what we got. We have gators, we have hogs, and if you guys don't know, in that New York area, um, I don't know the name of the river, but they have eagles there. Okay, oh, you want to talk coffee? Okay, do you know what I saw the other day? I'm in California, right? And I saw that they can grow coffee in California. And it's actually one of the most expensive coffee beans that you can get. California grown coffee. It's like 200 or $100 a pound or something of that nature. I don't know. This is a while ago I saw this. So what they do is they grow up, there's avocado trees in California, right? Or just the orchards or orchards of lots of trees, right? The coffee beans like the shade, so they grow whatever tree that you're growing, you can grow coffee bushes underneath. Boom, 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 right? And then I'm just saying, this is an idea. I'm throwing it out there. If you can start mass growing coffee in America, and you're selling it as American coffee, not importing beans and all that stuff. Because if you think about it, America runs on coffee, but we don't grow any coffee here. And Mad Max, it doesn't matter if the coffee is terrible, it's American coffee. You can market it as American coffee, but right? That's what I'm saying. Okay? You just unlocked so much potential. American coffee. They already have it in here in California. All right. Boom. We want to go back to trade war talk, okay? I'm telling you, um, you gotta adapt and become more self-sufficient. If it's such a great idea, why don't you do it? I've been trying. I have in my backyard. I cannot. I'm trying to grow the bushes, right? I can only get them to maybe like 2 feet, but I'm not like an expert at it. And I saw, um, in a local like arboretum, is that what they're called? Where they have like a bunch of collection different. They have coffee bushes there, and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of seeing how are they doing it, and I'm gonna try to do it myself. And then so I have a little bit of land, and I'm trying right now. So booyah! But I'm just saying, okay, this is collective thought. If another person tries it, another person tries it, right? One of you guys are gonna get it. More people that try it, the better. Okay, I have a better idea. You make tea bags, but you use the whole leaf instead of the cutoffs, and the junk from all the other tea bags brands for use. Interesting. Okay. But okay, here's the thing about tea, right? Americans don't drink tea. I'm talking about America, guys. I'm talking about America. You gotta think tea's great, but you gotta think the mass. majority of Americans don't drink tea. They drink coffee. What holds matter together? I have no idea. Okay, what's wrong with importing it? Why do we need to grow it here? Because in a trade war. And if you think about it, if anyone doesn't want to sell us coffee, we're screwed. We're screwed, right? And that too. Making your own stuff is always better than getting it imported. But yes, we'll be screwed. Just imagine one day Colombia, well, like somebody pisses off Colombia and that whole area, and they don't want to send us coffee anymore. Who knows why would not anyone not tell someone explain how trade works? Someone, if they don't want to sell us coffee anymore, we're screwed. Okay, but exactly? How are we gonna eat pineapples in January? We don't. We don't. We just don't sell. Tea is good. Tea is good. My favorite tea. I had a client a while back. I guess if you count Hawaii as America, which it is, but it's not because they call us the mainland, and like they have coffee in Hawaii. I guess Hawaii could technically change their whole production to make more coffee. But my favorite tea that I got is I gotta look it up later. But if John's still here, he doesn't want me to type in because he's gonna think I'm using ChatGPT. So I'm gonna try to remember the name. It's Makaleni tea leaves. That's my favorite. It's a herb that only grows in. It's like a plant that only grows in Hawaii. And they use it to make tea, and that's my favorite tea. I'll try to find it later, and maybe I'll put it in the description for you guys. But I also need to check what time it is. So it's later. If I run too long, you guys distract me too long, I gotta pick up my kid later. So what time is it? Okay, you guys have 20 minutes. Oh, hello, Mr. Zod. Every day, Mr. Zod comes in here, right, and asks me, do I got my papers? Every day. Every day. Every day. Without fail, Mr. Zod comes in here and thinks, I don't got my papers. Okay, all right, we're getting there. Okay, why? Do you know why Americans love grilled cheese so much? Both bread and cheese metabolize types into morphine. Okay, my theory on the grilled cheese, and this is just again, uh, I know he's just joking, so that's why I don't care. My theory on grilled cheese is that it is a classic wartime food, like just a classic food that you just grew up with and you just live with it. Yeah, this guy comes in, right? Zod comes in every day, and you know what it is? He's making sure I didn't get deported. He's like, "Oh, you're still here. Let me see your papers. Make sure they're good." All right. Wait. When my wife told me to sell our house in Canada and buy a condo so we can have savings and ease, and we focus on them for years. What do you think? Okay, let me think. Let me think about this for you, John. You guys want to sell your house in Canada and buy a condo. Is your condo in America, or are you just downsizing? Okay. First, what do you think? Hmm. Okay, downsizing. Interesting. Let me think more about it. So, because I don't know a lot about Canadian real estate. Let me think. You want to get a condo. Basically, you want to downsize your condo. Are you saying that you want to downsize your house, wait for things to kind of come back and just like come back into the market, or just downsize because you're outgrown, you don't need that much space? That's the difference as well. Um, I have a buddy, or actually two people that I know. I don't know if this relates to you or not, John, but I have a friend, two people that I know. During the pandemic, the price of their house went up to like levels that they were like, what is going on? And they sold their place. They lived in a condo, right? So they sold their place, basically maybe 35% more than what they bought it for. Almost double. No, not double. Like maybe 50% more than what they bought it for, right? And so they sold it. Their idea was prices are up, they were going to sell it, and then when the market cools down, they were going to rebuy a house, a bigger place, right? Because they're like, who will want to pay this much for this piece of crap place? So they sold their place, moved in with their in-laws, and this is the beginning of the pandemic. And to today, we're in 2025 now. All right, I want to focus on the first 4 years of her life without caring about money at all. I forget it. Ask ChatGPT. Okay, maybe this will relate to you then, John. Okay, so what they did was they sold their place, got a whole bunch of money because they were thinking, who in their right mind would buy this place, this piece of dump that they had for this price. So they sold their place, moved in with their in-laws, and the idea was they were going to save money and buy back into the market when prices go down. Now, this was beginning of pandemic, so this was 5 years ago. They are still living with their in-laws to today. Why? Because the prices of the houses never went back down. So if they try, and not only did they not go back down, they stayed the same or went up. So they can't buy it back. They can't even buy the same house that they sold. So now they're in a way they're stuck. Um, so that's that family. Another family did something very similar. They sold their place when the market was pretty high, where he thought the market was high. They sold their house for 1.2 million, right? They sold their, I'm in California. If the prices sound crazy, I'm in California. 1.2 million. And at that time, that was very high. The what their house is worth now that they just sold is $2 million now, right? See exactly what you mean. Okay, but back to this family. He thought the price was high. He sold it, and then they rented a place. What they pay for rent is $8,000 a month. Insane. So, and they want to live a certain lifestyle. I don't agree with it, but they're trying, they're like that flashy kind of type of people where they want to maintain, like, have that facade that they're doing very well. Don't do that. Live within your means, I'm telling you. Okay. Anyway, so they don't want to downsize their house, right? Yes, $8,000 US, right? So recap. They sold their place 1.2. They at that time super expensive for that house, right? The price went up on that place to 2 million. So now they sold their place for 1.2. For them to buy the same house back again, they don't have it. And they're paying rent now. They're stuck in rental hell. They're stuck because they're paying 8,000 a month. And they do because they had a bunch of cash, right? Right, because they sold their place. They had a bunch of cash. They thought they were rich, and that's why they were doing the $8,000 rental. And they paid a whole year in advance. And then, boom, they keep on going. Now they're stuck in rental hell because they don't want to downsize their house. Okay, now yeah, now with the trade war with the lumbers, not doing them any favors. I don't think they are ever getting back into a house of the same size that they did before. So I don't know if this helps you, John. I'm just want to share these two stories that if you downsize, you gotta downsize for the correct reason. Downsize to not to be stress free. I get that a lot. I like that though. I do like that idea. But if you ever think about going back up, it could be harder. So I don't know. But again, I'm just some idiot on the internet. Your life is your life. You know what I mean? Okay, what else? What else? I got all right. All right, I got 20-ish minutes. We can solve so many problems in the world. What's a soy boy? You know what I was thinking about this the other day, Mr. Duke Nukem? Is that the Romans, right? If you look into their diet, they ate mostly grains and seeds. I thought that was very interesting. And I told this story a little bit earlier today. Uh, during the I don't know why I keep bringing back the pandemic time because this is this crazy time, right? But I remember when everyone made that fast dash to get all the food that they possibly get because things were in America, things were locking down for initially the first 2 weeks, so everyone wanted to stock up. I remember going to the grocery store, right? And I was told to get flour because our idea was we were just gonna bake our own bread and everything, be self-sufficient, right? So I was there to get flour. There's no flour. But what I found interesting though is that all the shelves were empty, right? Except for quinoa. And I was thinking to myself, like, dude, quinoa is like a superfood, right? But they were like everything was gone. All the pasta is gone, all the rice is gone, all the beans were gone. Quinoa was on the shelves. Like full, full. And I was like, how could are so desperate to get all these things, but they skip out on like a superfood? So I thought that was super funny. What else was super funny is if you go to the tortilla aisle, at least in the store that I was in, everything was gone. All the tortillas were gone, except for wheat tortillas. And I bought the wheat tortillas, right? And I bring them home, and my wife was so mad. She was like, "What is this trash?" And I'm like, that just tells you, even when nobody has any food, nobody likes wheat tortillas. Or quinoa, apparently. I don't know how we got there, Mr. Duke Nukem, but your comment reminded me of that. Anything else we want to talk about, or else we are going to cut it and you guys can go. People were getting stabbed and killed over. Wait, I'm in America. Are you in America, Mad Max? Because that happened over here too. Okay, if you want to get on this topic, right? I don't know why, but it it seems like because we all have different experiences in life. You're in England, okay? Maybe you can relate to this though. We all have different experiences in life, right? But I was wondering. Yeah, Mad Max, are you really in England? We thought you guys used bidets over there. What's up with that? um, I do women. I wanna study this. I've tried looking it up, but no one did the study. Maybe you guys have more experience and see more things than I have. I always wonder, do women use more toilet paper than men? But if you really think about it, right? If you here we go. Okay, come on. Like, do they use more toilet paper than men? Because in my experience, from the females that I've seen, I want to say yes. But if you really think about it, using more than one sheet, maybe just doubling up, there's no point in tripling up 4 times. Like, you know what I mean, right? Come on. Like, this is a scientific thing that I need to find out. I tried looking it up. The answer I got online was yes. They do use more toilet paper than men. And I tried showing this to my wife. If only Angela when okay, next time, Professor Oak and if, all you guys, if you see a woman in the chat, we have to ask, do women use more toilet paper than men? I need to find out. And this is something to be found out over the internet. Because if you went to like your wife's friends, your girlfriend's friends, just women that you know, and you ask them this straight to face, you are going to lose your job. You're no longer going to be friends with that person. We have to do this over the internet where we just have names like Professor Oak and Envoy and John F. You know, like we just have random names, right? Because I showed this to my wife and she was like, oh, they don't know. They're lying. They don't like, I'm like, this is the internet. You have all the information. It says that they use it. So I want you guys to find out. Do women use more? Because I was telling her that it makes no difference. I understand maybe one sheet, like just one sheet coverage, you're like, oh, you need another one. So you put two. Two, I think, is the most. Double layer is the most you need. But triple, quadruple, like pentriple, um, you know, it it doesn't make a difference. Oh, visible gaming. Come on. I'm trying to answer life's questions here. I don't know how we even got here. This is the point. We never know how we get anywhere. But imagine how much fun it would be if we were all around and we could just talk for free. Yes. Yes. If we see a if we see a female in the chat, next time we have to find out. I gotta get going. Do you mean how many squares? No, I'm not talking about squares, Professor Oak. I'm talking about layers. Because what they do. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not talking about how many squares. I'm talking about layers. What my experience, what the opposite sex does, the females, what they do is they roll up multiple layers. They don't just pull and no, it doesn't even, I'm telling you, it doesn't even matter with the ply. What they do, and this is my experience, they don't just pull out the rip and then, wipe. What they do is they pull out and then they make like a giant like hand cast. And I've seen it where literally they'll roll out and oh, the hand cast is as big as the toilet roll itself. I swear they could use if they really wanted to, they could use a whole roll of toilet paper in one wipe. That's what I mean. Right? Okay, you see what I'm talking about? The hand cast method, right? Now, how many times do you go around? Right? Just a few times? Two times, three times. What I'm saying is like after two times, maybe three times, it makes no difference. Four times, five times, six times, seven times, you're getting a little wild. Seven times, eight times, like it makes no difference. Right? I'm just saying, is it just a one woman thing or is it a lot of them? I just want to know. That's just a curious thought that I have. But, anyways, I gotta go. After talking to you guys on the internet about toilet paper, I gotta go to a school now and pick up my kid and do homework. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thank you for hanging out with me. And if I entertained you, I did my job, and that makes me happy. So thank you very much. And if I see you guys tomorrow, we'll talk again tomorrow, and we'll find out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.